So welcome back to part 3 of the WRX Detail Series. In the first 2 parts of the series we've worked on the engine bay and we've also just finished up the decontamination part of the process last night. So we're on today to the inside jobs, which is taping this car up and then getting ready to do a test spot for our polishing.
Yep, so come on over to our shelves and we'll talk you through what we're about to do. Okay, so the first step in this part is that we're going to be taping the car. So we're going to be using some 3M precision tape, and we've got a little bit of 3M precision poly, and we've got different thicknesses here. The whole idea of taping the car is just to make sure that anything that's kind of got plastic on it, you want to have taped around the sort of things like the lights and stuff like that, just so that when you come to clean, it's so much easier to get that polish off. If you get polish everywhere in the cracks and stuff, it's just a nightmare to clean. So tape the car, a little bit of time spent doing that, I think it's going to make your job a lot easier. Then we're going to get into a little bit of test spots. So we'll do a few test spots on the hood there, work out which sort of pad and which sort of compound is going to work the best. We've got heaps of pads, different sizes. We've got the LHR 15 Mark III, we've got the LHR 75E, and we've also got the hybrid. So definitely lots of sizes there to make sure that we get this combination right so we can get these scratches out. We've also got some Sonax Cut Max, we've got Jessica Correction Compound and Sonax Perfect Finish. So we'll work through those combos with the pads and find out which is going to be the best for us.
So we're just working around taping up the headlights, and this is the first time that I've really had an opportunity to use the 3M, this is the poly precision tape. And I guess first impressions, this is the second headlight I've done. It's really pliable, which is nice because you can get around some of these contours. It feels really nice, like it's a really high quality feeling tape. It's actually a little bit cheaper than the standard precision tape, which is also a benefit. So I'd probably recommend having one roll of small tape here, doing all of these edge work, because then what we do have a bigger roll of it, and we're gonna finish off the headlight using the big tape, but I think you probably get away one small roll of this, and then quite a few rolls of the green tape. We'll carry on taping up this headlight here.
So far what I've liked about this precision tape, this is the 1 inch. It's really easy to rip. So this stuff's really easy to rip, and you can sort of rip it with one hand. I find that if I make a section like that, sort of at a comfortable distance apart, and then I can then maneuver it, and then I can then go again with another same sort of similar piece. I feel like I got a lot more control over doing it that way than, because then you can line that up based on where you want it to go. And I feel like I got more control over that than making this big long piece and then trying to line it up, and it just doesn't, it's just not sort of, it's a bit harder to contour the surface here a little bit. Okay, so pretty much finished taping the whole car. What I would recommend is you probably can get away with not having any of the 2 inch in your cabinet. You can get it if you like to have the full set, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. I'd have a few rolls of the 1 inch precision tape, because you're going to end up doing most of the car with this. I do recommend also getting the 1/4 inch version of this, because that's good to get around thinner areas like up and around here and around the window frames like that. I recommend getting a couple of rolls of the 3/4, the poly precision, because that's really good to contour around things like wind mirrors, etc. We don't have the 1/4 inch version of this, and I recommend that you probably do need it to get around small areas like this, and I kind of wish we did. So those are my recommendations of the tape. So to make our polishing job a lot easier, this had like a little bit of a wing on the back here. We've taken the wing off, and it was so dirty underneath. It was absolutely filthy, so I'm really happy that we took that off. And as you can see, where the wing sort of attached to the body here, you can see how it sort of rubbed the paint dry. We'll be able to clean this up a little bit. It's definitely not going to look nice, but I'll know underneath there that it's nice and clean. So that's hopefully going to make our job a lot easier when we come to polish that up. The whole idea of this test spot is to work out what pad and which combination is going to do the best job to try and remove as much swirls and scratches as possible out of this paint. So we've got a few combinations that we can try. We've got Sonax Cut Max, and we've got Jessica Correction Compound and Sonax Perfect Finish. So we'll grab a couple of these, do a few test spots and see what's going to work.
So just to give you an idea, these are the conditions of paint that we're working through.
So we're going to jump straight into the Rupe's coarse wool. Because these scratches are really deep, we want to make sure that we've got good cutting ability. So I think this is a great place to start. So I've just got the 3-inch here, and we'll use this for our test spots. So the first step we need to do is prime our wool pad. You prime this a little bit different to your foam pads, but you grab a little bit of your compound, and we're going to use Jessica for the first little test spot. Put a little bit of compound on here, not too much, and then you want to grab your Rupe's claw tool, and you just want to butter this pad up. You just want to spread it around and make sure you get nice even coating all over those wool fibers there. Might just need a little bit more. And then once you've got a nice even coat on here, you want to set your machine to a low setting, so something like setting number 2. And you just want to hold it onto the paint for 20 seconds, sort of heat up the pad and get that nice even distribution of the compound throughout the pad. So set it to number 2, and you just want to hold it still on the paint, a little bit of pressure, 20 odd seconds. And now you can see there that we've had the polish has, the compounds nicely distributed through here. And then you can grab your claw tool, it's got a nice little brush on the end, and you can just activate these fibers again. And that's the priming of the pad pretty much done. Couple of little pea-sized drops on here, and we're good to start our first little test spot. So we've got our couple of little pea-sized drops on here. We're going to start on this panel. This is the coarse wool with the Jessica Correction Compound. I'm going to spread it on number 2, and then I'm going to speed it up to number 6 to start our actual cutting part. So that's our first pass. We probably want to do roughly 6 passes and a cross-hatch kind of pattern. Alright, so that's our 6 passes complete. Now, when you finish your 6 passes, you want to use a nice microfiber towel, and you want to use some surface prep. So the surface prep just helps you, just rub your microfiber towel off there. It just helps to remove all those polishing oils. So a couple of spritzes of your surface prep. Nice clean microfiber. You want to be pretty gentle rubbing this off, because you don't want to be introducing any more scratches because you're trying to take them out. And this Jessica, it rubs off the paint really easily, eh? I mean, it's low dusting. We don't have heaps of dust spread all over the thing. So this is perfect for using in sort of a garage type environment where there's not a lot of ventilation. And we'll just see what we've got there. So I do have the Rupe's swirl finder pen, and that's just going to help us see how much defects we've managed to remove. I've got heaps of stone chips on the bonnet, but we're not going to get rid of stone chips. And that's done a pretty decent job. So that was 6 passes of the Jessica Correction Compound there on the coarse wool microfiber pad, the Rupe's one.
And you should be able to pick up on the camera here, if you turn the swirl finder light off, you should see that it has corrected out pretty well, especially in the centre here. We've got a few deeper scratches.
A couple of scratches just there.
Corner. But if we compare this line here and then come across, you'll see the basically the spider webbing effect we've got over here versus over this side. So a really good start, but we've got something slightly more aggressive that may be able to take out some of those really fine scratches there as well that are obviously a bit deeper in the cut.
Yeah, so on this square here, I'm going to try Sonax Cut Max on the same wool pad, and we'll see if we can remove a little bit of those deeper scratches. Bearing in mind this paint's 17 years old, so we're not going to get a lot of the deep scratches, and this is in my ownership the first time, so this car's been rubbed on quite a lot, and so we've got lots of deep scratches in there, but we can give it a crack with this. Every time you come to use your polish, you want to give it a good shake up. You want to make sure that you're mixing all the chemicals and stuff that are in here, all the grits and things like that. You want to give it a good shake up, and then when you're finished using it, you want to close the cap, because if you leave the cap open, all those chemicals will just be released out of the polish, and it won't be as effective. But I guess this is not the best, the most accurate test, because I've already primed this pad. There's already a bit of Jessica on there as well, and now I'm just going to apply a few drops of the Sonax Cut Max on there, and we'll just have a nice look at the comparison. You can reactivate your fibres with the claw tool. And then we can apply a few little drops of this and see if we get a little bit better job. Alright, so same again, we just want to spread on a low speed, so I've just got it on speed 2 here, and then we'll ramp it up to speed 6 to get into our cutting. And we're going to do 6 passes just like we did on this test spot here. Alright, so that's the 6 passes there. A little bit of surface prep, and let's put it on this side as well, and wipe away, and we'll see what we've got. Hopefully we've got a reasonable corrected surface, and hopefully that's going to be the combo for us. So once again, that Cut Max, very low dusting, which is really good, because in your garage, when you're working in your garage and you haven't got the best ventilation, it's good because you don't want dust everywhere. So both of those have worked really well in terms of their level of dust. So let's get our swirl finder out and see if we can find some swirls. I'm sure we will, but hopefully most of them are gone. There's a few on the edges there, but that's just because I probably haven't got close enough, and there's a few just down the bottom here. So I would say that looking at these two just quickly, obviously the edges aren't perfect, but I would say Cut Max on our wool pad has done a pretty good job there. So I think the combination for us, and this is the whole point of this, is working through your pads and just seeing which kind of compound you're going to use, because this time here now is going to make detailing this whole car so much easier. So I think we found a combination there. Cut Max, wool pad. I'll finish both of these sections with Sonax Perfect Finish and a yellow pad, and we'll just see how both of these finish up, and then we'll get stuck into really detailing this car up. Okay, so we've just taken the tape off that was through the middle here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish both of these sections now with Perfect Finish and the yellow foam repairs pad, and then we'll compare it to this section here that's had nothing done to it at all, so you guys can see how eventually the paint will finish out. Okay, so to prime this foam pad, you do it slightly different than you do with the wool or with the microfiber. You place a couple of drops, a couple of pea-sized drops around here. Probably need a little bit more than that. And sort of speed 2, we're going to sit it on the paint for sort of 20 odd seconds, and that just helps to heat the pad up, and it helps to distribute the polish throughout the whole pad. So we'll just do a little spot here. Okay, so the pad's all primed. A couple of pea-sized drops on there. I've grabbed the LHR 15 just because this test spot here we've now made a little bit bigger because we've taken that line out. Okay, so I've polished this area here with Sonax Perfect Finish, and it's polished. It's finished down pretty well. It's created this sort of nice little gloss to the paint, and you can see that probably on this half here we used the Cut Max, and on this half here we used Jessica. Definitely think that now our combination is going to be Cut Max on the Rupes wool pad, and we're going to finish with Sonax Perfect Finish on the Rupes yellow fine foam. So if you come back here and you can see the quality of the paint, so you can see a whole heap of swirls and scratches in this kind of area here. Then as we come over, a few little scratches down that bottom part because I didn't get too close. This here side has not cut too well, but this side here is cut a little bit better. So
if we take this the strip of tape away here too.
And so I think it's really important to spend a little bit of time making sure that you get the right combination correct, so that you can be polishing more efficiently, because we've now got a good couple of hours ahead of us to get this done, but I feel like we've got the right combination to get this paint sort of corrected to a standard that I think's sort of acceptable, especially on this sort of paint condition. It's been 17 years in the making there. So that's it from this part of the series. That's our taping and our test spot all done and complete. Please hit the subscribe button to stay tuned, because you'll get the updates of the other part of the series to come. Thanks for watching.